Hey, muy buenos días, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. Bueno, mi gente, I still hasn't been able to bounce back up from the thrombosis. I did get 2 shots yesterday, so I should start feeling relief, so I could start putting out recordings or finish the one I was doing. I'm putting out this one I had done a while back, and I was just waiting to put it on so that it's on this channel. So for today, I want to post this one. I hope everybody has an excellent day. My love, saludos y respetos to you as to family.
Muy buenas noches to everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. Y de nuevo, muchísimas gracias a todos for giving me that minute or two to hear me out. My the message I'm trying to push, and for all you guys' kind words and prayers. Se los agradezco como siempre mucho. Now, for this time, I wanna basically touch on three different camaradas, right? And what does end up happening once a camarada he either checks in, they move on him, or in other cases he's just out from the picture, period, due to personal problems or XX thing. Now before I start off, first off I wanna say that, you know, there is a lot of pilis that they're not as careless, you could say that. They do care for camaradas, and they try to shield them from a lot of things, but when push comes to shove, it's just what it always comes back to. You can't fight an army by yourself. So in their case, they know it's either check in or just follow suit with the rest of their brothers, right? But to start off, the first camarada I want to touch on is Blackie from San Ho. A while back, at first he was representing Silent from SD, and is when he basically gave one of my younger homies the keys, or the right to use Silent's name on the streets, right? And as everybody knows, within time, the Billy ended up passing away due to COVID, and Blackie started supporting or helping or you know doing his secretary thing for Babo when he was in Solano, and things continued to push as they always have. And there was a lot of pushback, from the streets. For one, my neighborhood, it's never been that. It's always been like, we can show our respects, but for you to get out here and say you have the neighborhood, that ain't gonna happen. Because you could be representing a Pili, it don't mean you have the keys to the hood, right? But anyways, things ended up getting squared off, and the camarada did eventually, at least was representing the hood under Babo's name. But he was answering to Blackie. As I was aware, Blackie was actually, he was collecting from a lot of neighborhoods up north, and eventually hitting the Pilis, hitting the Pili, right? And as a lot of the guys that are in the game or were in the game, you guys should be aware, that Babo had a lot of conflict going on with different Pilis. It was mainly about, Babo was a high power Pili, and he thought he had more seniority than others. And I hear a lot of stories, for example, on this type of conflict he had with other Billys. But not to say I'm right or then they're wrong, but just everybody look at the timings. Look at the timings. There was a story on here where you know Alfie Soldado got to Folsom, but Babo was already out. I mean, come on. Alfie was long gone before Babo got out. You know what I mean? Just pay attention. I don't wanna come on here and basically put my 2 cents on things, cause it's not what it's about. It ain't about starting any type of conflict. It's about supporting whoever's pushing, the message, which is to stay away from gang, mainly prison, But anyway, as you guys were aware, within time, you know, Babo ended up getting that passionate release, and when that came, it was just about him, it was about me, and he had the three pilis that were backing his play up to the point where get out the days you have on the streets, just worry about you, whatever you had, we taking care of, and which tablas, topo, wizard, they ended up concentrating on what was important to them, which was Florencia. But at the same time, he did not speak up for other people that were representing him. For example, in this case, Blackie. So time went on, and eventually, it's amongst them, pilis, carnales, as they call each other. It was basically, you're a good soldado, but that don't mean nothing. You were helping out this high power carnal that was calling me out my shit in public. Excuse my language. So now I'm gonna politic against you for it. It's how it always goes, If it's not over money, drugs, it's about pride, And I'm better than you. That's it. So time came and they ended up moving on Blackie, But you could say he was a smart one, He ended up getting hit, and he just said, "Charles, I ain't gonna go through this twice." And he did what he had to do, Now his route, I couldn't really tell you, if he debriefed, if they're still doing. I don't know. I don't know none of that. But all I know is they ended up hitting him, and the people that were answering to Blackie for Babo, eventually got put on that list over nothing, just because they were showing their respects to where they thought it was an organization. It wasn't an individual human being, But amongst them, that's how they move. Unless it's convenient for them, right? But at all times, man, sureños, camaradas, they're not a factor in their movement, They're throwaways. They show that time and time again, as this was the case, At least from my county, or the county I grew up in, I know 8 individuals the Pili that actually politic against Blackie ended up putting them on the hat, over nothing, over them doing quote unquote the right thing, if that exists among Sureños and Pilis, But anyways, the second camarada I wanted to talk about is the camarada, Sporty from 18th Street. I believe he was from Northside 18, or something like that, up in the Valle. Anyways, I was with the homie locked up, in Tehachapi for not too long, but after that is he was doing his thing, but he was a little older homie, At the time I wasn't too old, the homie had me at least by 10 years. But everything I used to hear about the camarada, he was solid, he was a good homie. He had that same style that, well, at least in my head, it was the right thing to be doing, which was just, get to a spot and put yourself in this position and don't allow yourself to get caught up in them politics, which it's impossible in reality, because you could be on a yard supporting and bump heads with whoever, and you're gonna land another place, and there's gonna be tail dragging you with you from this other yard, which it eventually will get clear up. This type of things usually does get clear up, but by that be, you know, while they're apples and oranges, you're gonna go through some headaches. But anyways, the homie got thrown out the worst way that I can think of. Like I stated, he was helping out. Not only on the streets, you know, touching base with Güero Caballo, his other homeboys up in the feds, and he was trying to do the correct thing. You know what I mean? But like I stated, he was older, and for some reason he came back to the shoe, and there was other pilis, that didn't really sit well with Güero Caballo, because they felt Güero Caballo was always supporting Popoy and Güero Sherm and XX, those type of things, and there's a lot of pilis that have a lot of anger against Puppy, for different reasons, which is a thing for a different topic, right? But anyways, Sporty in the shoe, you know, we're like little kids, you could say that, I remember when I caught cancer, man, I used to do, I used to finish up with reps of 200 of push-ups, but they weren't per se push-ups, I used to do my routine bag, and I used to finish with 200 sets of just pumps, I used to do 9 and then the 10th all the way up and then back down to 9 pumps and 1 up. 9 pumps, and I used to do 200 like that, And I remember I was in my last set, and when I did that all the way up, I felt literally from behind my ear all the way down to my neck, like if they grabbed that muscle and they ripped it, and I felt, but I knew the rules and regulations that were established, so I knew I had to buck up. For one, I couldn't tell the Huda, hey, acá y allá, I need to go to medical, and before I put that slip in, I had to, like a little kid again, ask a Billy for permission to do so, right? But those that have downtime will tell you, you don't want to expose your hand like weakness, because everybody's after everybody. And everybody's waiting for somebody to show weakness. It's just part of the game inside, All that carnalismo, homie, yeah, in front of you, they'll be like, he, ha, ha, I love you, homie. But, everybody's trying to step on the next man and trying to prove that they could actually politic to climb up, It's just all that carnalismo, loyalty stuff. It's not there no more. It hasn't been there, at least when I was there. But anyways, homeboy had some important health issues, and for his seniority, whatever, for what he was doing or has been doing, he felt he could put that medical sleep without informing, and they came, put the handcuffs on him, and he walked out to medical, and you know he overseen, the Billies that weren't very happy with the people he was supporting, the other Billies. Again, the so-called carnales, right? So, again, homeboy's knocked out to medical. He didn't bring back proof why he was out there in medical. He didn't even try to send a kite explaining why he went out there. They didn't ask to go out there. So, in their eyes, he went out there to talk to squad. All this was dropping a dime, right? And I know for a fact that Sporty, within time, he got real sick, man. But that didn't stop the police. They ended up having him move. They ended up spearing him in the shoe. And the worst part is, I don't know how many years he was supporting his so-called homeboys turning into pillies. But when the report hit them and hey, he's supposed to be real sick, he did this and that, we went and go ahead and moved on them, cussed this and that. He didn't try to explain himself. His own homeboys, the ones he was helping out, eventually said, "You know best, do what you're gonna do." So there's the loyalty that young batos on the calles are itching to go look for in prison. Again, it don't exist. Stop believing those fairy tales. That you have to go to prison and earn your stripes or get to know really what the program's about. On carnalismo, on love, on raza, unity. It just ain't there. It's a dog eat dog world, especially now. That I hear those extra things where you know they're not even respecting family no more. Besides you doing what you have to do in there, you can't even have that one day per week of leaving all this behind and going out there seeing a loved one and distracting your mind from it, because that's going to be used against you and your family. I mean, just sit and analyze that for a hot second. But anyways, homeboy never locked it up. Sporty. Like I said, he was sick. He ended up passing away in Corcoran Shoe, but he passed away in bad standings just because he got sick and somebody wasn't in agreement with the beliefs he was actually answering to or touching base with when it came to money and dope. It's just got what it's just where the glorious Asureños at. It only matters what you can bring to the mesa and who you bring it to. All that extra, I'm a killer, I'm gonna hoop bang this. Man, you're not gonna get anywhere by that. Now the third one is just fairly recent. This just happened like a month. And it happened with a camarada de Copato, from Petaluma. It's about 15 minutes away from my hometown, Santa Rosa. And there's a lot of homies out there. You got a big neighborhood. But homeboy, or most of everybody from Petas, they were under Mosca. Mosca was out there tough. They were answering up to him, sending feria to him, as you guys know, Mosca pissed off a lot of Pilis, and in this, I can't really disagree with them. I know their scandalous ways, I know they're greedy, but Mosca was just one of them dirty Pilis. He felt he was above not only camaradas but above his own brothers. But this camarada, he was in Folsom, and he was already doing things for another Pili. And Mosca had been already gone for a minute, but along the line, Tortuga from Colton, he didn't like the fact that well, in his head, I don't know if it was just that he felt they weren't answering up the way they were to Mosca, that jealousy, envy starts coming in, He got our homeboy and gave him an ultimatum, Hey, this, and that, and, about the dope and the money coming in, and it went from, you know, them selling just his dope or getting it from him, and it was no longer $500 a month. It was, I believe, he went up to 1,500 a month because he knew they were making more moves than they were actually reporting, which I don't know if it's true. The point of the matter is that, LP's a big neighborhood. He wanted to prove his point. The homie had all day. He didn't have no snitch jacket on him. All this and that. But to prove his point, he had to hit someone that was gonna be talked about on the street. So he went to go ahead and hit homeboy. You know, didn't and clip him or anything, but he did hit him and had him go PC, and just to prove a point. That's how valuable our gente is. And this is just recent. You guys can investigate, and just look it up in Folsom. You guys will know exactly who it is I'm talking about. But I just thought I would come in and share with you guys on how when a Billy falls or he leaves his soldados behind because of anything, could be death or like Mosca, he got removed, or jealousy, envy, and the envy ends up coming out, which is they can't let go of the fact that you were helping out another member, his carnal, more than him. Well, at least that's how the head starts analyzing or thinking of things, to where it's easier to just clip him and remove him. So again, my message is to everyone, love yourself, man. Stay away from all of it. There ain't nothing in prison. There ain't nothing in that life, period. You're gonna go through headaches, suffering, waste your life for something that at the end of the day you piss someone wrong off, and don't matter what you do, it's gonna shoo you and throw you out like nothing. But again, I just wanted to touch in with you guys and extend my love. Please stay true to yourself and loyal to your loved ones. God bless y buenas noches.